All right, let's jump over to Team USA. So we did see Team USA get announced for the Olympics, and here is the wonderful graphic here put out by USA Basketball. You can see the team right here. Kawhi Leonard, the last player to be confirmed. I guess first and foremost, Keith, Kawhi Leonard, and we need to break down the team itself, but Kawhi Leonard being involved, maybe that's a good sign for his knee, which is something we've been worried about, especially heading into this series with the Mavs. The fact that Team USA is confident enough that he will be available, that they went ahead and announced him and put him in the graphic here and everything else, that's probably a good sign for the Clippers and Kawhi's availability here for the playoffs, even though there's months in between here. But still, if this was, the Clippers are hiding another injury that requires surgery, this is probably not happening with Kawhi Leonard right now.
Yeah, I had the same thought when it kind of leaked out yesterday that he was going to be the 12th man added. I felt the same thing on Joel Embiid. That said, we all know Team USA, between those two players, as well as just the age of a handful of the other guys like AD and LeBron and Curry and Durant, Drew Holiday as well, knowing that some of these guys are still making their runs, their backup list of guys is probably at a minimum 12 deep as well, that they will go to if they need to replace somebody. This was not we have to announce it right now and we can make no changes. That date will come far later into July, ahead of the Olympics themselves. But they part of the reason why they do this is Team USA can now start to trade on the hey, let's start to build buzz and energy and all the other stuff for this, because it's going to be every single one of these guys, other than Steph Curry, is in the playoffs, and there's going to be anytime they pop up, it's going to be, hey, recently named Olympian or Team USA member, and all those things as it goes. So yeah, the team itself, let's go. Like, I am so fired up. I will repeat it again for anybody who's new. I will 100% try to be as balanced as I can be with most things in basketball, not in the Olympics, not in international competitions. It is Team USA all the way. My preference is they go out there and lay waste to everyone, destroy them by 20 or 30 games. I think those days are probably over. The rest of the world has got good enough, but it's just awesome to see the star power, the veteran guys, the recommitments. It's great that Steph, we're finally going to see him in a USA jersey after never getting to see it. Like this is great. I cannot wait.
Let's run through the roster here, working from bottom to top here. You've got, I'm just in terms of what's on your screen, podcast listeners don't know what I'm talking about, but that's okay. You got Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, Bam Adebayo, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, who we need to talk about, Kawhi Leonard, Jason Tatum, LeBron James, Anthony Edwards. I may have said Edwards twice, but so this is your team.
Okay.
He's that good. He's that good. We can say him twice. This is the team. I had to keep the biggest. I think when something like this happens, the instant reaction is who got snubbed, right? Who should be on the team? The number one name that popped up was Jalen Brunson. Should he be on the team? And the big question was, should he be there in place of Tyrese Halliburton? Because you look at these guys, you look at everybody on the roster, you can see they're filling specific needs, filling specific roles. So we look at Jalen Brunson, it's not, does Jalen Brunson deserve to be there over Bam Adebayo or something? They play different positions. So that's not going to be the question. It's going to be, is it somebody at his same position that he should be there over? When you look at what they've done in the NBA this season, I think it's fair to say Jalen Brunson has had a better season than Tyrese Halliburton, who is great. Tyrese Halliburton is great. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA. I love watching him play. I'm not trying to say anything negative about Halliburton, but Jalen Brunson's had the better NBA season. So what do you think factored into the decision to go with Hallie here over Brunson?
Yeah, I think two parts here. One, he's a little younger, so you're hoping to get a multiple run commitment from Halliburton. And it's also, this is a recognition of he played and committed and played in the World Cup last year. So you did it, and we're happy to run it back with you. And it's funny because I've seen some people, it's generally been with Brunson. There's been a couple other people that names have been thrown around, but I've seen some people be like, it's ridiculous. Like, this guy's not even good. Like, all right, we don't need to be stupid. Every one of these guys is great. Like,
Yes.
let's not get crazy with this. I would have had no issue if Jalen Brunson was on the team. I think there's a world where he could have been. I personally think the Knicks are probably like, we're not really all that upset with
No.
this. We're going to put a ton on him on what we hope is a long playoff run after already making him carry a massive load through the end of the regular season. We're okay with that. I think this is the push pull between NBA and USA basketball. A lot of NBA teams. Mark Cuban was very outspoken when he said several years ago, "I'd prefer my guys don't play," and it's just simply
he wanted insurance on it.
Yeah, they just don't want their guys getting hurt, and that's the challenge. I think one of the other things too that's very worth noting here, because the other guy people have brought up is why Drew Holiday? Why is he there? One, it's a recognition of he did it before, so they like to go back to guys that have done it before.
Sure.
And they're loading these teams on the back end with role players, guys who can fill a specific role of, hey, we need defense, we need playmaking, we need shooting. And they're not, where it's gone south for Team USA in the past has been, let's just take the 12 best guys, we'll just throw them out there and figure it all out. You're trying to build an actual team now because that's the necessity to beat other countries because they've gotten that good.
So, Keith, I think there's a couple things that you touched upon there that are really important. So when we talk about the skill set, because you're right, Drew Holiday's the other guy where people say, what about Brunson? Now, Brunson played last year in the World Cup, so that's he does have that experience with Team USA. But when we look at skill set, this is why Halliburton is there. This is why Drew Holiday is there, and Jalen Brunson is not. When you look at this roster, what is Jalen Brunson's best skill? It's scoring the basketball. That's what he does best.
Yep.
Well, this team has a bunch of guys who can score the basketball. Look at like Devin Booker's best skill is scoring the basketball. Anthony Edwards' best skill is scoring the basketball. Jason Tatum, right? These guys, their best skill is scoring the basketball. Of course, Kevin Durant might be one of the greatest scorers we've ever seen. This is what they do. What they don't have when you look at this group is a pass first point guard. And that's, look, Steph Curry, he's a great passer. Is he a pass first point guard? No. Drew Holiday, he's a great defensive player. He can do things on the offensive end. Is he a pass first point guard? No. They didn't have that on the roster, the guy who can be that next level ball handling passer. Now LeBron can fill that role. He's an incredible passer. These guys all can pass, right? They're all incredible players, but they don't have the guy whose base skill set is what I bring is I'm going to set up everybody else. And that is much more along the game of Tyrese Halliburton. So as you said, this is checking boxes, filling different skill sets. So if you run into a situation where we really need somebody who's going to organize an offense, maybe with a second unit, maybe a mixture of the second and first unit, and is going to be able to get into the paint, hit the right shooter at the right time, that's going to be a situation where you call upon Tyrese Halliburton. If you get in a spot where you say, hey, we need a guard who's going to handle the ball and is going to come off of a screen and drill threes for the entire game. Okay, Steph, let's go. And that's not to say that Halliburton's on the same level as Curry or whatever. We're talking about different skill sets that you can use to mix and match. It's tools in the toolbox, arrows in the quiver, if you want to look at it that way. But your other point, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say Halliburton too, specific to him on here. Yeah. He is also young enough, just enough less stature than the rest of these guys, that if he is the 12th man and doesn't play very much, which every Team USA has, no one's going to really bat an eye. Everyone's going to be like, okay. If you brought Brunson and then he was just kind of along for the ride, it would be a little bit more like, come on, let's get him on the court, because there's definitely going to be probably two guys that don't play very much. My guess is it's probably going to be, and this is assuming everyone is healthy enough and fully ready to go. My assumption is it's probably going to be Halliburton and probably Bam Adebayo, just because Joel Embiid and Anthony Davis. But the bigs you can rotate a little easier by basically saying, hey, especially with AD and Embiid, let's just own it. They're going to be banged up by the end of this season. They both already are anyway. So you can kind of own it of, hey, we're going to make sure Bam gets 15 minutes a game just to keep those two guys fresh too. But someone's not going to play a lot. And if it's Halliburton, it's Halliburton. And that becomes almost a little bit of an easier situation for Steve Kerr to deal with.
Yeah. And you can platoon the center position, but you're right. Somebody's got to be Christian Laettner, right?
Yep.
and somebody's
Yeah.
got to be willing to take on that role. And Halliburton probably will be that guy in this situation. The other bit about worrying about players getting hurt, because I see LeBron, I see Anthony Davis here. I know Austin Reeves came into the NBA season this last year with kind of jelly legs because, they may have pushed back against this, but the assumption is because he played with USA over the summer. And I'm going to be rooting for USA. I'm going to be hoping the US team wins the Olympics. I'm going to be enjoying every game. But in the back of my mind, every single time these guys are on the floor, I'm going to be going, please don't get hurt. Please don't get hurt. Please don't get hurt. Because we know what this means for an NBA season. And you bring up Mark Cuban's point. That's the problem for the NBA, right? Where if any of these guys gets hurt, particularly the top tier star guys that are out here, that could drastically impact your ticket sales. I mean, you're talking about millions of dollars on the line for these NBA teams. So they're going to be doing this. Well, it's a prestigious honor, and the NBA teams are going to be, promoting it. They already are. They're going to be saying, "Hey, congratulations to player X, Y, and Z who made Team USA, and let's go compete for our country." The whole time, they're also going to be going, "Man, we've got a lot of money on the line. Please don't get injured."
Yeah, and again, every one of these guys, yes, the Warriors did not make the playoffs this year. We're going to get into the play-in tournament games next.
Yeah.
But every one of these guys is on good teams. Like none of these players are on a team that's just kind of they're just him and not really winning and all that stuff. Like these guys are all on teams that range somewhere between playoff team to favorite title contender.
Mm-hmm.
They're all on very good teams, all very important players on those teams. So yeah, there's that too. Just so everybody knows the timeline we're talking about here, the Olympics starts on July 27th is when the basketball portion starts, but these guys are really going to start around July 10th. What they're going to do is they're bringing them to basically like a camp. So it actually be ahead of July 10th. I think July 10th is the first scrimmage game Team USA is going to play. Leading up, they'll play 5 scrimmages leading into the Olympics itself. But so it's probably at least a few days before that. The NBA Finals, last day of the NBA Finals is like June 20 something. I want to say it's like June 24th or 5th or something like that. So we're in a spot where, yeah, it's pretty like you're going to run into whoever runs deep into the finals. If one of these players does on this group, they're going to do that. They're going to get about a week or so off, go meet Team USA for camp, then do all the scrimmages right into the Olympics. And the Olympics runs until August 10th. So the basketball portion does. So August 10th, that'll wrap up. You're going to come back home from France, and then they're going to have month and a half before they start filtering back into their home team arenas, or practice facilities or whatever for informal workouts. So it's not a lot of downtime, and I get it. I would love to have a month off of my job. I get it, but you're not an NBA player. Your life is different, as is theirs from yours. So it is, yeah, you're running into it. And that's why a guy like LeBron has been reticent over the years to commit to this, because he knows what it takes. Now I think he's looking at it and saying, man, it sucks we lost the World Cup, and let's just be realistic, probably his last one. So let's go. I want to go. And him saying that right away got a lot of the other guys to say, I'm in too. Like that was huge. Absolutely. On getting a whole bunch of these other guys to be like, I want to play too. Not to mention, probably helped swing Joel Embiid saying, all right, I'll play for Team USA instead of France or Cameroon, who he's also eligible to play for.
Yeah, agreed. I think that was really big. And you're right. I mean, a lot of these guys, when you hear about their off seasons, because you think about the toll that the season takes on these guys, and people make fun of Anthony Davis for saying, he doesn't pick up a basketball for the first half of the summer or whatever. A lot of these guys, they've got to let their body fully recover before they can start ramping up again. These guys who are playing for Team USA, they're not going to get a chance to do that in most cases. I mean, you're talking about maybe they can take off a couple weeks, 3 weeks, after the Team USA schedule is done, before they have to start realistically like preparing to get back to training camp and everything.
Yep.
That's not a lot given the toll that these guys put on their bodies. That's not a lot of time for them to truly recuperate and recover from a long NBA season and then that. So there is risk to it, but there's also, this is a chance to go win a gold medal. And that is going to be the goal for this team. That's a realistic goal. And anything less will be a failure for this group. They should win the gold medal with the talent on this team. And that's what they're going to go try to accomplish here.
Yeah. They better come out as the gold medalist. I'll also say of interest to me, the Celtics are going to Dubai next year. So everything starts earlier for them than it will for the other teams. The Nuggets are in the same boat, who also will have someone who's not going to have the same summer in Nikola Jokic. So it will be very interesting to see how those teams handle those early moments of camp. And my guess is for like the guys here on Team USA, Tatum and Holiday, hey, ease in. Like, we're going to really take it easy on you. Now, the league puts a little bit of pressure on the teams in those Dubai games to at least put the stars out there, because it's a global showcase. It's the only time they're going to be there for a year.
You're trying to win fans.
Yeah, exactly. You're trying to grow the game. So they'll probably get out there, but it'll be, hey, go through, play 5-10 minutes each half, and then that'll be enough. And then they kind of move it from there. But yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. And yes, a couple of these teams will, like Stephen Curry, season's over, but he can't ramp down, because then it throws off all the rhythm of he needs to ramp back up 2 months from now to be ready to go for Team USA training camp. So he's not even going to be able to fully shut it down. I'm sure he'll probably take a couple weeks off here, but these guys, yeah, you're absolutely right. People should not make fun of Anthony Davis for saying what he says, because a lot of guys, they finish the season and then it's like, don't talk to me. I'm out for 2 weeks. Like, I'm not going to watch. I'm not going to touch a ball. I'm not doing anything. I'm going
to go lay on a beach.
Yeah, exactly.